According to Statistics Canada, 44% of Canadians say it would be difficult for them to meet their financial obligations if their pay is late in 2019. This means that most of these same individuals likely would have come across some troubles in 2020 as they were likely going to be hit with some level of unemployment. That statistic in itself is not only concerning since it reveals that a large percentage of Canadians are living paycheck to paycheck, but also because that is a lot of stress for an individual to manage. Financial stress is more common than you think. Here are 5 telltale signs that you're struggling with money stress and how the state of one's finances can negatively affect not only their mental health, but their overall well-being. Are you feeling a loss of control? Do you feel as if the world has turned on its head and that you can't do anything about it? This is a sign that you are dealing with money stress. A loss of control might be coupled with intense bouts of anxiety, and to mask the pain, you might resort to modes of escapism, such as playing a lot of video games, eating junk food, or even drinking or smoking more than you should. Problem avoidance. Do you avoid looking at your bank account balance and ignore notifications that your credit card or student loan payments are due? Perhaps you even throw the bills in the trash. And to further avoid the reality of your situation, you resort to putting everything that you spend on a credit card. Loss of self-esteem. Your ego and feelings of self-worth might feel deflated more often than not, and perhaps you feel that other people might have their stuff together and you just don't. This, in turn, may make you less inclined to socialize with other people, apply for that promotion, or pursue romantic partners. Low levels of energy. Are you having trouble getting out of bed? Now, I know that's a general statement since I know a lot of us are not necessarily morning people. Or are you having trouble finding the energy to just get out and do stuff? A slump in energy is actually a sign that you might be dealing with some form of depression. And lastly, loss of concentration. So are you having trouble concentrating or focusing? This can also be a sign of depression. With the average Canadian household owing $1.76 for every dollar earned, it isn't surprising that 50% of Canadians agree that their level of debt is causing them a lot of stress. Loans, credit card payments, mortgages, and simply trying to keep up with social media are just a few triggers of financial stress that impact Canadians of all income levels and age groups. When you add in a high level of debt, an average rate of income, and various financial responsibilities into the mix, financial stress only increases. People that are struggling with their finances admit that their mental health is compromised because of it. Approximately 48% of Canadians say they've lost sleep because of financial worries, according to Stats Canada in 2019, as well as 40% of Canadians also agreeing that their level of debt is negatively affecting their mental health. Having multiple bills to pay and loans hanging over your head can cause you to feel more stress and anxiety, impacting your mental health more negatively than without financial worries. There are also situations where someone's mental health may affect their financial stability. If someone is feeling depressed or anxious, there is a chance that they will turn to overspending to make themselves feel better. Personally, I know a lot of you are spending a good chunk of money on the new PlayStation 5, the Nintendo Switch, new iPhone 12, as well as the recently revamped craze on Pokemon cards. While there's nothing wrong with treating yourself every now and then, impulse buying or consistent retail therapy can negatively affect your savings, your debt levels, and your credit score. If you are spending on things you cannot afford, you can also feel guilty towards your actions, as you may not only be lying to yourself about your financial situation, but also to a spouse or partner. This, in turn, could affect not only your mental health, but potentially your relationships as well. If you are willing to put in the time and effort, there are a few simple ways to take control of your financial health, in turn also improving your mental health as well. The first step is to get organized. Getting a copy of your credit report and credit score, having a record of who you owe, and making a basic budget of your income and expenses will allow you to have a better idea of your financial situation. Laying everything out on the table will be overwhelming at first, but it will also help put things into perspective for you. If you are interested in setting up a budget, I have a great form that you could use to help you with this. The app Mint is also a great money managing app that lets you track your spendings, bank account balances, credit cards, and more. It also helps you keep track of your credit score regularly as well. Of course, banks like TD and RBC have integrated applications that let you track your spendings directly through your bank account with them. The only downside is that you can't combine it with your accounts at other institutions. Once you've gotten through the uphill battle of becoming aware of your financial situation, you can then start focusing on creating solutions for your finances. If you feel overwhelmed by debt, then the solution would be to first get to know your debt. I know this sounds silly, but facing your personal loans and understanding where your credit balances came from really lets you take control of your finances. Once you've identified and tracked your debt payments, you can start saving. Some people are born savers and have no problem with savings, while others find it hard to save. So here are my suggestions. The traditional way would be to schedule a payment out of your regular checking account at the same time as your paycheck, so the money gets taken out the moment you get paid. This is a great way to consistently set money aside. An alternative solution would be to look at an app like Mocha. Rather than saving every time you get paid, this app helps you round up every single one of your purchases on your credit card or debit card and puts those monies away for savings. It's an easy way to start putting money aside, and you'd be surprised at how much you save when you're just setting aside 50 cents or 75 cents each time you spend money. Now that you've saved all this money, here's what I'd recommend. If you have debt that you are uncomfortable with, then start paying it off. Some people hate debt while others are uncomfortable with keeping it on the books and paying it off over time. Do whatever makes you feel the most comfortable with your finances. Remember to keep some money on the side to act as a bit of a motivator for you to keep saving and building up those funds. I personally like to keep around 2 to 3 months worth of expenses in my account to act as an emergency fund, as well as having it there knowing that I have some cash rather than allocating it 100% towards paying off loans that I have outstanding. Once you've got yourself in a position where you feel comfortable with your liabilities and debt balances, as well as your overall wellness, you can look at investing. The solution to saving and investing is very simple. I hate to sound cliche, but there's literally an app for it as well, for those who want to do it themselves. It's called Questrade. They also have a promo right now where you can receive up to $250 if you open an account with them through an advisor referral, so let me know if you want to take advantage of this. First, you'll set up an account with Questrade. Here in Canada, we have 3 types of accounts: RRSPs, TFSAs, and cash. Think of them as boxes. Each box is identical in that they can hold the same things. The only difference is that in some boxes, there are rules that apply when you put money in and take money out of them. With any online brokerage, you can contribute money into your online account by using the pay bill function on your online banking application and conveniently manage your money that way. Remember, each account is just a box. Inside of each box, you can hold the same things. This is when you can start choosing the investments that you hold inside of these accounts based on what is most comfortable to you. I'm not going to throw any investment advice because everyone's situation is different. A 25-year-old looking to put money away for their first home purchase compared to a 35-year-old looking to invest in their retirement results in a very different recommendations based on their personal circumstances. That said, I won't leave you guys empty-handed. So what I've done is I've included a list of 13 investments that are great for beginners, that are relatively conservative and safe, so you can consider these ideas to initially start your journey in investing. The last step here is to ask for help. Whether you are struggling with mental or financial health, it is important to know when to ask for help. It is easy to find yourself or someone you know in a situation that requires the help of a professional. Although talking to a professional may seem intimidating, it really doesn't have to be. There are great resources like professional counselors, financial planners, and insolvency trustees who work with people in very similar situations every single day. The misconception of financial planners is that you have to have a lot of money before you can start benefiting from their expertise. However, that is absolutely untrue and really something that was created by the institutions who are only willing to manage money for rich people. From budgeting to financial counseling and planning, working with an advisor who takes a modern approach to financial planning can really help you understand your financial situation and determine what steps you need to take back control of your finances. To wrap things up, if you're having trouble with debt and cash flow, use my budget or the Mint app to start the process of identifying opportunities to turn a negative cash flow into a positive one. If you're looking for saving strategies, consider the paying yourself first strategy, where monthly contributions are deducted from your bank account on the same day as your paychecks. Alternatively, use the Mocha app to round up your purchases to save money on everyday transactions. Once you've arrived at the point where you're ready to invest, set up an account with Questrade or any online brokerage if you're looking for a do-it-yourself DIY solution, and use my 13 investments for beginners as a starting point to build your first portfolio. I like to think that I take a more modern approach to financial planning in a world where the traditional investment ideas have become expensive, inefficient, and lack innovation. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more educational content like this.